Hey guys, this is Hazel Lucia Tarot. I'm Stephanie and I have a reading here for you today about what your person finds seductive about you. This could be anybody you're in a connection, situationship with. It could be a relationship, flirtationship, baby friends with benefits, crush, whatever you name it. We have 3 piles for you to choose from today. We have pile 1 with the amethyst, pile 2 with the clear quartz, and pile 3 with the rose quartz. Take your time, maybe take a few deep breaths to really consider which one is for you, and I'll see you when you're ready. Hey there, pile 1. If you chose the amethyst point, I have your reading here for you today. We're going to be looking at some oracles to check what exactly it is that your person finds seductive about you. Let's start with this flower. And already I'm getting a sense that you come off as very sweet, pure, and innocent, because even the vase that these flowers are in is very clear. So you might be someone who, I don't want to say you're easy to read, but you definitely show your truest expressions on your face and you don't really hide much. Or at the very least, this is part of what your person really finds seductive about you, is your frankness and your honesty. If you can hear that, I'm sorry. My dogs are going a little crazy. All right, so the back of this card says Camilla? Yeah, maybe somebody's name is Camilla, with eternity. Like a rose, camellia flowers are made up of layers of symmetrical spiraling petals. In their native China, they stand for everlasting love. The petals of the camellia represent the woman, while the leaves supporting her represent the man. In other flowers, the petals fall away from the leaves, but the leaves remain attached to them. Camellia petals and leaves fall together, signifying union even in death. Their meanings include longing, admiration, beauty, adoration, and loveliness. So already, your person definitely finds you very beautiful, pile 1, and probably somebody they could go the distance with. And something about that security can be really seductive to some people. But let's move on with your oracle cards. We have otter, another symbol of purity, and you got 2 archetype cards, Don Juan and artist. We've got psyche, persistence, held, sureness of the soil, unseen help, support, community, and different paths. You and this person are no longer on the same page. What you want in life may differ from what they want. It's time to face if the road ahead is still with this person or if it's better to move on to something new. So right off the bat, something that's coming through is a lot of this mixture of innocence, but also a profoundness to you. Like I said with this, you're probably somebody who's very frank. You definitely don't mess around. We'll get to this card in a minute, but you're definitely very honest, pile 1. There's a sense of playfulness and sweetness to you, because otters are another animal. They fall asleep and they hold hands so that they don't drift away from each other. And I'm getting also with Psyche, it's interesting because the mythology of Psyche, Eros and Psyche, they have a very interesting story where they come together, but there's a lot of hardships, but yet they know that they're meant to be together. And I think that's what the different paths is trying to say here. I'll actually put it next to it, where you might have to come apart for a little bit, only to come back together, if that makes any sense. I'm already reading a little too deeply into that, but that might just be something that Spirit really wanted you to know. But there is something very seductive about you with the Don Juan. You may have been somebody who likes to, the attribute is spotlights your positive seductive qualities, and the shadow is using the power of romantic attraction for private agendas. But I think you're just a little bit of a flirt, and you could very easily seduce anybody, pile 1, and I think they're very aware of that. And that itself is something that draws them to you, because it's like you could have anybody, and instead you're with your person, or you're giving your attention to your person, depending on what the situation is. With artists, there's probably something very artist-like about you. You may actually be an artist. You may draw, color, paint. You may be in an artistic field. what have you. Light attributes, expressing a dimension of life that is just beyond the five senses, inspiring others to see life symbolically. And shadow attributes, using talent as an excuse to mistreat others, posing as the starving artist to elicit pity. So here, I feel like they see you as a work of art, because even as I'm looking at these cards, they're just such beautiful cards. Withheld, they may just like to hold you, or you come off as somebody who looks like they should be held. Maybe there's just something very endearing about you and they just want to hold you, because even Psyche is holding a little cup. They just want to hold on to you despite these converging paths that are coming before you and your person, pile one, because there's a sense of togetherness here for sure. Don Juan could also be a bit of it could be a fear that you might want to look for somebody else because you are so seductive, but I get the sense that that's not going to happen here, just because there's too many cards about unity, with the camellia leaves and the flowers falling together, with the otters that hold on to each other being held, and of course Eros and Psyche that have a story about how they're separated for a while because she disobeyed the rule that she could not look at Eros, and she did out of fear, so he had to go away, and then she had to pass the 3 tests that Aphrodite set before her. Aphrodite's his mother. So maybe there's something similar happening in this connection, pile one, if that's the case, but they're definitely very entranced by you. They absolutely love you. You may wear your hair up in braids and they may really, really like that. Just something coming through. I'm also noticing the butterfly wings. I don't think that's something that she has. I think this is just for this deck and what the artist decided to do. But there's definitely a transformation happening here. And maybe you will become even more seductive because of this transformation, because Psyche means soul. There's also persistence here. So it's knowing that you're so beautiful and that you are so seductive, even just in the way you are. It's like a sweet seduction. It's a very... I don't want to say girly, but very, very coquettish. And it's just so cute and beautiful and they love it. But there's also a sense of wanting to hold on. Maybe it's the fact that you want to hold on to this connection that really, really, really just lights their fire, pile one. But let's move on with the tarot to see in what other ways you are seductive, or maybe anything else about this relationship or situationship. Whatever it may be that we need to know. These are all such beautiful cards, and I really love this sweet energy. We're going to be using the pocket tarot, so these cards look very small, but they're my favorite. And they're the only tarot deck I'm using today. So my pile one, what makes you seductive to your person? We have the 6 of Cups. Again, with that sweetness, I always associate this with like a childlike wonder. Pile 2, or sorry, pile 1, Ace of Swords, Daughter of Swords, Ace of Pentacles, lots of new beginnings here, and 9 of Pentacles. And then to clarify these, we have 2 of Cups. That's beautiful. You got 2 for this. Okay, the Emperor and 9 of Cups. We also have the 8 of Swords. I don't know why these came up upside down. Father of Pentacles. I am going to note that it came upside down though. And to clarify, the 9 of Pentacles. Mother of Pentacles. Okay, so we have the Father and Mother of Pentacles here. Yeah, there's a stability to your nature that your person finds very seductive. It's almost like they know for a fact that you're very loyal and they enjoy this about you. There's also a sense of innocence, and they really like that innocence. Maybe you're very playful with them, and that leads to, you know, you guys being even more intimate together. Maybe there's maybe just the way you yeah, it's just something sweet and innocent, but at the same time it's not, you know, it's very playful. It's very, very cute. I get the sense you're very cute with the 6 of Cups and the 2 of Cups here. And I'm looking at the foundation of this tree. The roots run so deep, so maybe you have a long history with your person. And that just adds to the fire, you know. It's like, I've been with you so long, and it really makes them feel empowered, because here we have another tree with the Emperor. It's almost like you're the roots of, and your person is the tree that is growing from these roots. With the Nine of Cups, here we have emotional fulfillment. We also have the Nine of Pentacles. So lots of nines. I don't know if 9 is an important number for you. You may be a life number 9 or 6. With the Ace of Swords, you keep this relationship or whatever it is, you keep it very alive with new ideas, and there's like a spark that kind of never ends, because I'm thinking of how this snake around the sword is almost like an eternity symbol. It's like you keep it alive and fresh enough, but still with a sense of stability. So you might have a very smart mouth, and maybe they like this, they like that banter that you provide for them, especially with the Daughter of Swords. I consider this like the sassiest the sassiest of the suits, because this is new thought. This is somebody who probably speaks without thinking, so they may also find that funny. With the Eight of Swords, though, there's something shy about you. There's something about you that, even though you're this certain way, there's still a timidity, or maybe you're not completely out of your shell. Maybe you only show this part of yourself to the people you are with, to the people you are romantically involved with. Whether that's just your partner, or if you're not in a relationship, you may only show this to the people you are interested in romantically. With the Ace of Pentacles and the Father of Pentacles, this is interesting. I think this is the separate paths that we're talking about, and it may have something to do with a career or finance. Maybe they have to move away for a job. Maybe they work far away for work. Like maybe they may have to leave for work, so they're gone for a long time, if you live together or if you are together. But with the Ace of Pentacles, they know that this is a seed that they want to nourish, that they want to plant and watch grow into this big old tree, which is the relationship that you have. With the Mother of Pentacles, you are very, very nurturing to them as well. Pile 1. I'm seeing you as this mother, and this little baby deer is your person. That's probably how they feel when they're around you. And there's just something so, I don't want to say homely, but so comforting about you. It's playful, comforting, and just overall innocence and sweetness. It's very lovely. With the Nine of Pentacles, you're somebody who doesn't really need anybody else. You're probably very self-sufficient. But the fact that you allow yourself to be vulnerable enough to let people in is something else that they really, really like and admire about you. Pile 1. Overall, this is just such beautiful energy and very, very earthy. Lots of pentacles, but lots of water as well. You may have a lot of earth and water in your chart, and just a dash of of good bit of swords as well. But yeah, I feel like you give your person, you make them feel like a strong provider. You make them feel important, and that's something else that they may enjoy, especially if you are very, very, I don't want to say feminine, but just you allow yourself to be taken care of, even though you don't really need to be taken care of, So let's move on to some advice cards. And for advice, I think I only have one deck today. We have the Alchemy deck. I'm going to pull 3 cards from here to see anything else about your connection that you may need to know, maybe any other ways that you are seductive, or I don't know. We'll see what what it has to say. We have Sun Splendor. Oh wow, that's beautiful. Mortification. And Mars. Yeah, lots of Mars energy. I was getting that with the Emperor. So if you are Psyche, or I can't remember how you pronounce her name. I've been saying Psyche. I think it's Psyche. Then your person is definitely Eros, and in this case, it's that masculine feature. It's that masculine energy, and this has nothing to do with genders. It doesn't matter what you identify as. This has to do with you and your person, because Sorry about that again, pile one. I'm babysitting my family's dog and she's going a little crazy. But as I was saying, regardless of what you identify as and genders, every relationship has a more dominant and a more submissive person. One's more masculine, one's more feminine, and this is what I'm talking about when I say masculine and feminine. And I'm only saying this in this specific reading because I feel like those energies are very, very prevalent. But your person is definitely the Mars person here. They're very dominant. They come towards you. They adore you. They feel like you just give them strength. With Sun Splendor, I feel like when you come together, it's just rainbows and everything is picturesque and beautiful. And the mortification, again, it's that separation. I don't want to say there's separation anxiety, but you definitely don't feel the same when you're apart. So it's almost like even when you're apart, you give your person the strength to be the person they are, to provide for you, to really work hard for your future, whatever that may entail and whatever you may have. And because I was talking about masculine and feminine, and because I was talking about whatever you identify as, this may be an LGBT relationship. Take that if it resonates. If not, there's definitely a lot of growth in this relationship, because I also consider a rainbow to be divine connection or completion, depending on what your situation is. You're probably very spiritual, pile one. I do get that feeling. So you may be connected to source a lot more than your person. And maybe this is another way you give them strength. You give them the intuitive advice that they may not be able to get for themselves. Because I'm seeing that especially with the thunder, because the hand here is grabbing onto that thunder. So it's like they're holding on to your light. And again, holding on, I kind of like how that's come back. I'm thinking of the otters that hold their hands and wanting to be held. I would say the most seductive thing about you is how you hold on to each other, and how there's really this trust between the both of you, and how you're able to conquer these fears. Like, there's nothing to worry about with this mortification here, though it will happen, I'm sure, with being so far apart. There may be some insecurities, but through being able to believe in each other and to really be inspired by each other. I love how the sun is just getting so bright right now. This connection will thrive. And that is all I'm getting for you today, pile one. Please let me know if any of this resonated. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Bye. Hey there, pile two. If you chose the clear quartz point, then we have your reading here today about what makes you seductive to your person, what your person finds seductive about you. We're going to start off with this very beautiful red rose, and already I can tell you're just a vision of romance. Red rose, as well as romantic affection. Bright red roses can also mark respect, whereas deeper shades can represent bashful love and even mourning. Couple your red rose with white rose to signify togetherness and unity, or with a yellow rose to send congratulations and show excitement. Red roses have become so synonymous with beauty, love, and passion that these themes are often subverted in literature and film. We also have romantic love. So I feel like you are just a classic, very romantic beauty pile too. I'm seeing somebody who is very well dressed, someone who does her makeup, who does their makeup really, really nicely. You probably dress in a very romantic way, like you know how to dress for your features and your assets, if you will. And you just come off as very naturally seductive. You probably have just this aura about you that is naturally, I'm thinking like of a very curvy figure or a very romantic figure, if we're going by like the KB types. We're going to be using oracle cards to get the impression from your person, to see what it is exactly they find seductive about you. So let's start with, you got the most cards out of all the piles, by the way. You got a lot. We have the Phoenix, Hummingbird, Warrior. Light attributes: strength, skill, discipline, and toughness of will. Heroism, stoicism, and self-sacrifice in conquering the ego. Shadow attributes: trading ethical principles of victory at any cost, indifference to the suffering inflicted on others. We have Oba, domesticity. We have Frigid. There are invisible walls around you preventing love to come in. In order to experience love, you need to open yourself up and let your guard down. Healing the motherline. Healing, ancestral work. Motherline, growing up. The sacred union. Beloved within, inner and outer relationships. Okay, so what your person finds seductive about you. With Phoenix here, I'm getting a little bit of Scorpio energy. If you can hear that, that's my dryer sings when it's done. Maybe you like to sing as well, like hum a little tune and they find that cute and seductive. But with the Phoenix here, I'm getting Scorpio energy, and with the hummingbird here, I'm getting Gemini, just because these two, and they both have wings. I feel like regardless, you're a very independent and transformational character, pile too. And they love about this. They love that you spread your wings and are kind of fearless, especially with the warrior here. You're probably not afraid of anything. You know how to handle situations as they arise. You probably have been through a lot. With domesticity and healing the motherline, there's probably some mother issues here. And that has caused you to really question whether you want to be a mother as well, especially with domesticity. Or if you want to settle down and really, it's like you're afraid of repeating the patterns that you had growing up with your mother or your parents or whatever was happening to you when you grew up. And I feel like that's part of the rigidity here. You've built these walls around you because you may be very aware that you're beautiful and that you're super seductive, or you unintentionally draw a lot of attention, a lot of romantic attention from other people. And this is not the first time you've had to really consider this, whether a conventional marriage or relationship or even motherhood is something that you want. So the warrior here isn't literal warrior. You're not just somebody who kills it at the gym. You're also somebody who has an inner warrior, that emotional warrior who's had to go through a lot. You might have had some family trauma. You may still be dealing with as well. But you don't let that get to you. With the wings here, I feel like you're definitely breaking out of this at some point. And something about watching you really come into your power is something that your person finds very alluring and seductive about you. With the sacred union, beloved within, inner and outer relationships, it's almost like healing your inner love wounds, your inner relationship wounds, is just making you stronger on the outside as well, and somehow more breathtaking and more beautiful. I'm also noticing the colors here. There's a lot of pink, a lot of purple and red. So these are colors that you may resonate with. It may be a color palette you really like. They're also very romantic colors. These are colors one would wear when they're trying to be, in a romantic mood, maybe some first date kind of colors. So with Phoenix, I see you really overcoming a lot of this, and in turn, it turns you into a new person. Either if you've already gone through this, then your person is aware, and it's just something that they find very, very alluring about you. It's always beautiful to watch people break out of their shell, to overcome their past struggles and become the person they are meant to be. And you clearly have an immense amount of outer beauty, but with this inner beauty, it's like they're watching you come into this beautiful goddess who is very protective of herself and her heart. With the hummingbird, I'm going to read up a little bit about that just because I'm not too familiar with hummingbirds other than they are birds, but I know that they're a very specific kind of bird. They fly very fast. I think they have like the fastest beating wings of any animal. So maybe this transformation came about very quickly, almost instantaneously. Maybe it happened when you met your person. Maybe this person inspired this in you and they were aware of that, and it just made you all the more attracted to them. Positive, enthusiastic, spiritually resourceful. Inside the tiny hummingbird resides an endless well of energy and positivity. The hummingbird's secret is that it has learned where to gather nectar, and it returns to these sources daily for nourishment and rejuvenation. Follow the way of the hummingbird, and you cannot go wrong. Every droplet of life becomes sweet. Every moment becomes worth savoring. So you're probably a very curious person as well. I'm just getting the feeling that maybe you go to your person a lot for some advice, or maybe you bring them a lot of, I don't know, you bring them something, even if it's just joy and optimism, little flirtations, or just something that they really enjoy. And this is part of what attracts them to you, and vice versa. They find it very seductive. You may say little quips here and there, but at the heart of it, it's like they can see your wounds, and they can see that you're working on yourself. They can see you're trying to break away from maybe some mother trauma or drama. They can see that you want just a beautiful life and a beautiful unionship at the end of the day without having to repeat the patterns of your family. And that's very beautiful, pile 2. Let's move on to the tarot to see in what other ways your person finds you very seductive. But yeah, I'm seeing somebody who is just lovely. You're probably very curvy. And probably dressed very beautifully. I could see, like, you know, a nice red dress, or like a deep red dress for going out on the night. So with the tarot, I'm going to be using the Wild Unknown Pocket Tarot. We have the Emperor, Son of Pentacles reversed. I'll keep that in mind when I'm reading it. The Fool. Okay, I'm not taking them reversed at all. 7 of Pentacles and Ace of Wands. And to clarify these cards, we have to clarify the Emperor, 2 of Pentacles. To clarify the Son of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles. To clarify the Fool, we have 6 of Cups. To clarify the 7 of Pentacles, we have Mother of Cups. And to clarify the Ace of Wands, 5 of Pentacles. And the bottom of the deck, as I happen to look at it, Death. So yeah, you're going through a rebirth, you're going through a transformation from somebody who probably, I'm thinking a little bit of coming of age, so you may be finally stepping into your adulthood and taking reins of what it is that you want in life. But I'm also thinking of growing up in the sense that you're leaving behind the things that no longer serve you. And in this case, I really do feel like it might be your family. Maybe you have a very strict traditional family that doesn't want you to grow up and move on and go find, you know, whatever it is that you may want. Maybe they want you to just be, you know, a very traditional housewife. You may come from a family where they select your person for you, like an arranged marriage type of situation, or they may expect you to find and settle down with somebody exactly how they are, you know, like a traditional marriage. And that, like, if you come from a certain background, they want you to be with somebody who is just like them. I know that happens a lot in certain cultures, but in this case, I feel like you do not want that for yourself, pile 2. You definitely want something that'll make you happy. And I'm not saying that arranged marriages can't be happy. I've seen it where it can work out. But in your case, that's not what you want. You want to be able to choose. You want that freedom to choose, especially with the Emperor here. I don't really see this as much as your person. I see this as you, because you have so much feminine energy and it's hard to deny. You really want to step into this Emperor energy. With the 2 of Pentacles, it's the balancing out. You really want to balance out your feminine and your masculine. And in order to step into your masculine, you're coming into being able to make your own choices, your own decision. And unfortunately, this means you'll have to, at least emotionally and mentally, cut ties with your family. Not physically, you'll definitely still have them in your life, but you have to cut ties with the expectations that they have on you, pile 2. With the Son of Pentacles, I did notice it was reversed, but the Son of Pentacles, which is the Knight of Coins or Knight of Pentacles, is a very traditional character. But in this case, this is not suiting you. You are trying to break this tradition in order to have your needs met. With the Nine of Pentacles here, you are somebody who definitely wants to provide for yourself. In the Rider-Waite deck, which is the traditional Rider-Waite deck, it's actually a woman, and she's like wearing these really lavish garments, and she's in a garden, and she has everything, and she just looks so happy. That's what I'm envisioning you as, pile 2. That is what you want for yourself. You want to be happy in your own garden that you grew yourself with the clothes that you probably bought and chose for yourself. So with the Knight of Pentacles here, you are rejecting tradition. Respectfully, you are rejecting tradition. With the Fool, again, you're going into the unknown, and you're kind of going blindly into this. You may be the first person in your family or in your social group, whatever you have, to really do this. And your person, the one that you may be asking about, is probably somebody that you are not familiar with, or that you wouldn't expect to be with. It's definitely not somebody that your people, your family would approve of, for whatever that reason may be. It may not even be a big reason. It may just be like, oh, because they're from here rather than here, but you're both probably from the same country, or it's because of their job, whatever it may be. This person brings you joy. Six of Cups is joy, a give and take of emotion. So they definitely make you feel very fulfilled, and all you really seem to care about when you're with this person is how they make you feel, and they make you feel so seen and so beautiful. And there's a real reciprocation of love and enjoyment here. With the Seven of Pentacles and the Mother of Cups, Seven of Pentacles is working hard for what you want. And with the Mother of Cups here, I stopped taking them reverse after this one, but something tells me this one was also supposed to come out reversed. If so, you're definitely rejecting certain things your mother told you. And maybe this has been something that you've always known, that certain things your mother did or how your mother lived just will not apply to you. So therefore you have to really work on yourself and how things will work out for you. You're setting your own path. You're fearlessly going into this with the Ace of Wands. It's almost like there's just such a bright spark in you, and you cannot keep being the person your family expected you to be. And with the Five of Pentacles here, this is you. It's funny because you chose the red rose. Let me find it really quick. This is you. This is you, this beautiful, romantic, even a seductive looking rose, really. If you wanted a rose to signify passion and love, this is the rose you would choose. But this is how you feel. Or this is how your family has made you feel, holding on to all those expectations. You want to bring that fire back into you so you can bloom and blossom into this beautiful rose. Because this is how you feel right now. The Five of Pentacles is a feeling of lack, a not seeing what it is you have, or being forced to not see what it is you have, because that's what I'm feeling within this reading. Because you know what you have, you're just being forced to not see it, and that's the freedom to really be whomever it is you want to be. So with the Ace of Wands, you will be setting a trail for yourself, pile 2. You will be setting a new story for yourself. So this death here is the death of the old you, the death of the expectations that your family had for you, the death of the expectations your society or culture had for you, and the birth of something that is so much more beautiful, so much more fruitful, and so much more authentically you. And honestly, I feel like these desires you have to really come into your power and be your own person is a very seductive quality indeed. It can inspire anybody, and I can already feel that your person really, really loves this about you. It makes you strong in your own way. So that is all I have for the tarot. We're going to go into some advice cards to see what else we can know about this connection, about your person, about yourself, or even just in the ways that you are seductive. So we have the Alchemy Oracle. And I'm going to choose 3 cards for you. I love this deck, but it's hard to shuffle. The cards are they're a little tough, but that's okay, because so are you. We have, oh, another rose, the golden rose. Oh, I love that. I love that roses have been popping up in every single spread of cards. Separation. I also love the gold. Copper. All right. So copper is interesting. Copper is the metal associated with Venus, which is the sign of the planet of love, the goddess of love. So this feminine Venusian energy that you definitely embody will always be with you. And it might actually be good luck to keep something copper around you, whether that's like a lucky penny or maybe something made out of copper that you have, like a copper pan or pot. I know those are really nice, and my mom has a really nice copper pots. Maybe you want to keep that as a decoration just to have, because that'll bring you a lot of luck. But it's also interesting that I say copper pan. Maybe your mother cooked with copper pans and you no longer want to cook with those. You want to cook with, I don't know, aluminum or something something much more modern. If copper pans are something that are very traditional in your culture, I know they are in mine. But focusing on the golden rose, you are just blossoming and blooming into this very abundant creature. I feel like in setting your own path, you will actually make a really good living for yourself, even just for yourself. I feel like you won't really need anybody else to provide for you. And this is something that maybe nobody else in your family has done. Maybe it's something they wouldn't have expected of you. Maybe they expected you to marry rich or to marry into money or whatever that may be. But instead you end up setting your own path. You end up making your own money. You're definitely your own person, pile 2. With separation, I just see this as the separation of, here we have the wealth your family expected for you, a copper pan, and here's the wealth that you made for yourself, golden roses, and that's just beautiful. I'm also thinking of Animal Crossing, where you make gold roses, so maybe that resonates with some of you. But it's interesting because that video game is also about living on your own and building everything from scratch, and paying off your own house and owning your house. And in the newest one, it's building your own furniture even. I definitely feel you would start a lot of things from scratch. And this includes the way you see relationships. This separation has nothing to do with your partner, by the way. This definitely has more to do with your inner self. It's funny, I always make these readings trying to make them about something, but they always end up being more about you and yourself, because I think Spirit really wants you to focus on yourself and what you want, because when you become the person you are meant to be, the person you want to be, your most true and authentic self, is when you will find your partner. And this person, in case, might be helping you to figure that out. Your person may be opening doors for you as well. If it's somebody that can maybe offer you a job or help you with a job, whether they will be in your life or not is something we're not quite sure yet. You're not quite there yet. But I know for sure that they see this in you, they find it seductive, they find it inspirational even. And frankly, you are golden, pile 2. A lot of abundance, a lot of love, and I'm sending you so many blessings, because I know what you're going through can be really, really hard and really scary as well. But that is all I have for you, pile 2. If any of this resonated, please let me know. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Bye. Hey there, pile 3. If you chose the rose quartz point, and then we have your reading here for you. We're going to start off with the flower card you chose. And this one is a hydrangea. I can never pronounce these right. Heartlessness. These abundant blooms have somewhat contradictory meanings around the world. In Western culture, hydrangeas are said to represent boastfulness and heartlessness, yet can also say, thank you for your understanding. In Japan, they are tied to sentiments of gratitude and also symbolize true love and marriage, making them a popular choice for bridal bouquets. So, I get the feeling that you may come off as somebody who's a little standoffish. And oddly enough, this may be something your person finds seductive about you. There may be something very, I don't know, an iciness to you that really draws your person in, and they may find that seductive. You may play it a little hard to get, because it was talking a little bit about the two different meanings. You may be kind of a bit of a contradiction, and they may find this very, very appealing. But we have your oracles here for just to see what it is your person finds seductive about you. Unrequited love. Oh no. The feelings in this connection are not mutual. One person gives more love than the other. Don't waste your energy on someone who is not interested in you. Codes of the seeds. The blueprint is within you. Take the next step. Aditi, creation. Athlete. Light attributes, dedication to transcending physical limits, including handicaps, development of personal willpower, and strength of spirit. Shadow attributes, misuse of athletic ability for selfish ends, false sense of invulnerability and entitlement. And dragon. Ooh, okay, so there's some interesting energies in this pile 3. So I'm not quite sure who is the one with the unrequited love. Somebody here doesn't feel the same way for the other. And I feel like this might be your person, about what they find, or it might be you towards them. Maybe this is only a physical connection, and if so, that's fine. And maybe at some point, one or you or the other, whomever, wanted something deeper, but they weren't able to get anything deeper from this. This is just physical, and that's what I'm getting with athlete. Maybe this was a very physical connection. Maybe it was like a friends with benefits kind of situation, something where for whatever reason we cannot go deeper. And yet I feel like it was very transformative regardless of what went on between you and your person. They definitely find you very beautiful. And they definitely liked something about how detached this was or is. They may like that detachment. If for some reason you're the one who's not into this, but you still want to understand why they fell for you, because it's very possible that you don't feel the same way, but you want to know why they fell for you. It's because they see you as somebody who is very... They don't know how to describe it, but they know that they love your energy. They may not be aware of energies. This is probably somebody who is just not on your spiritual wavelength. Definitely not in that same energy or connection of being in tune with yourself. Because I see you as Aditi, this goddess here, just very connected to the stars. Definitely talk about the signs and everything, because these are the glyphs of the signs. You may be the kind of person to ask them, do you know your astrological sign? And they're like, what's that? And so maybe that should have been like a red flag or something. But definitely they are somebody who just is so different, and they're aware, but they're still very into you. And maybe you saw this as well, that they're just so different, and you know it will not work out because they're too much into 3D. And you're like this dragon here. You're such a spiritual creature. The dragon is very interesting. They're very abundant, at least on a spiritual sense. And I think in the book as well. I'll look into it just to make sure that I'm interpreting this right. But to me, they're a very abundant creature. One or either of you might be year of the dragon. That could be another thing. And dragons can be very detached. I know dragons can definitely... They know how to let go of things that do not suit them at all right away. Just with my experience with dragons. But dragon seeing one's most true self, balancing the ego. The dragon sees everything. Its essence has been with us since before our first breath and will be there at our last. It watches us navigate the external world as well as the inner world. So I'm getting that you probably saw that they were not as advanced as you, pile 3. Because I really do feel like you're the one who is... not returning these feelings. It could go either way, or it could go both ways. Maybe you both understand that there is no love here. It's all physical. It is all just outer attraction. And again, there is nothing wrong with that. Maybe you just really enjoy being in each other's company, and you've accepted that the most you will get out of this is a good friendship going forward if you want nothing else to do with each other physically. But it's interesting that there's a lot of purple. You may have helped this person reawaken their intuition, or at the very least give them a sense that there is more than meets the eye, that there is definitely a spiritual side to the world that they have yet to tap into, and that they definitely should really pay attention to. You probably helped them work with the law of attraction. You've helped them realize a lot more about themselves than they thought. And I feel like everything you taught them is what made you so seductive, that they were willing to pursue a deeper relationship with you. But you saw this for what this was and decided that this is where this ends. You yourself may also be very athletic. Maybe you both are. Maybe you met each other through some kind of sport, or maybe at the gym. You may like to swim because this is underwater. But it's interesting. They definitely see you as very beautiful. And I'm also thinking, I'm going to read up on a DT because it says creation here, but I'm not exactly what her main modality is. It's almost like they would want to ask why this wouldn't work out. And maybe you also want to understand why it wouldn't work out, because you're definitely very physically attracted to each other. Aditi, of Hindu origin, goddess of the universe, she is empowering you to create at will. Be the change you want to see in the world. Go out and make it happen. Yeah, I feel like you have other plans, pile 3. You definitely have a higher calling. You definitely have a goal out there that you know you will not be able to fulfill with this person. You have so much to offer the world, and I think they're aware of this too, and they kind of want to ride on your journey and on your success, but you are not willing to you won't allow this to weigh you down. And I don't think that this even means the ending of this connection. You may decide to pursue this physical connection for quite a while, or maybe on and off, whatever the situation may be, because your person really believes in your cause, and they really believe in the beauty you bring about them. You may inspire them. They may become one of your biggest fans and followers, and maybe in the future there will be something that ends up allowing you to requite this love, to reciprocate this love. But for now, it's like you are in such different wavelengths, and the only thing connecting you together is this physical attraction, this physical union. But let's move on to the tarot to see what else we can get for this pile. And your person may be, because I remember the hydrangea card said heartlessness. Your person may be seeing you as heartless because you do not return this love that they have that they have on a silver platter for you. And the truth is, you're not being heartless. You're choosing truth. So we have the Wild Unknown Pocket Tarot. We have 8 of Coins, 8 of Pentacles. We have 9 of Swords. Yeah, I could feel that. Ace of Swords. Son of Wands. And Justice. To clarify these, we have 9 of Pentacles. Ace of Cups. The Moon. The Hierophant. And the 2 of Wands. Yeah, pile 3, you have a much higher calling than whatever it is your person has to offer you, despite the physical attraction, despite the seduction. I feel like I saw the bottom of the deck, the High Priestess. You're very much this High Priestess. Again, there's a lot of purple in that, so there's a lot of intuition, a lot of third eye energy, a lot of you had things to do, pile 3, and you know that if you were to choose anything deeper with this person, it would just hinder you. With 8 of Cups, there's a lot of work to do, and there's probably a lot of work you've already done. You are the spider, and the web is your collection of work. It is your life's work. The 9 of Pentacles, it's very fulfilling for you. You've been able to provide for yourself with this, and to take this cup that your person is offering you would just bring you this is a card of anxiety, but in this case, it's more like lots of frustrations. It would hold you back, or at the very least, you feel like it would. Maybe even just being in this connection has done a little bit of that already. With the swords, the Ace of Swords and the Moon, you feel like this connection needed to happen because there was a sense of inspiration here. They may have done something to your intuition that you didn't think they could. They may have really made you see things in a different way, maybe just to remind you what it feels like to not be connected to source, to not be connected to spirit, or to not have a life purpose. This person may not even know what they want out of life with the Moon here. They may still be doing some inner reflection here, and you already know what it is you want, and you have a purpose, and you want to move forward. With the Son of Wands here and the Hierophant, I don't know why I'm hearing age difference. So maybe the age differences in you is kind of what is keeping you from really allowing this connection to be anything more than it is. Because I know this happens a lot in large age gaps. They know that it's just physical. They know it's not going to be for the long haul, for the long term, because of their age differences. Like, you know, if it's such a wide gap, it could be that, you know, one of you will die a lot sooner than the other, and that wouldn't be fair to the other person. Not sure why I got that from the Hierophant, but if that's the case, take that if it resonates. If not, you know, just leave it be. But because the Hierophant is such a wise person, this is somebody you learn from. This is a teacher. And the Son of Wands is somebody who is just setting out on the world. Not as young as a Page, but definitely like somebody 18 or in their 20s, really just exploring the world and offering this as well. The Son of Wands is also the most lustful of the knights. You would think it's this Son of Cups or the Knight of Cups, but to me it's the Wands, because they're a lot more reckless in what it is they have to offer. Also, please take note of the imagery here. It's very phallic-like. But and then this bird is just holding onto this key, so just take that of what it will. Yeah, this is definitely just a strictly physical relationship. This is not an 18+ readings. I don't really do those on YouTube because I would have a hard time censoring myself. But let's face it, this was just for what they could offer in bed, pile 3. With Justice and the Two of Wands here, this could have been an LGBT relationship. I always think of that because of this background. Take that if that resonates. If not, then I'm seeing two very different situations. One is a lot more tied down to whatever it is that they are tied down to than the other. So one can afford more freedom than the other, and there's just no way, at least now, that it could work. That's what I'm seeing with Justice for whatever reason, because the scales are unbalanced is what I'm seeing. You would think they're not because of the Two of Wands here. Also notice that there's a rainbow here. So yeah, maybe there is a little bit of this might be an LGBT connection. I'm not saying that for sure, but I'm also thinking of how connected one or the other is to source. There's definitely one that is more connected than the other, and there's a definite imbalance here. And it wouldn't be fair for either of you to continue in this relationship because, you know, maybe one of you would make a lot more money than the other. That could be another huge gap that is between you if the age doesn't resonate. Or one of you is a lot more stable in life than the other. This connection was just meant to be fun, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You can really appreciate a connection for what it was and then let it go. And it's weird because I can feel that somebody is very heartbroken. My heart chakra is aching right now, and I'm just so sorry. If it is you experiencing the unrequited love, pile 3, just know that there are better things ahead of you. There definitely are, because regardless of which one you are, you have so much to offer the world, and you have such a huge life path, life calling that is going to bring about such good energy. We have the High Priestess and the Moon here. There's just something better meant for you. But this is all I am getting from the tarot. Let's move on to your advice cards. And I apologize again in the beginning. There's probably going to be lots of cuts because my dogs are going a little crazy. But we have the Alchemy Oracle deck here, and we're going to pick 3 cards for you. We have Mortification. Oh, Mortification. This came up in another reading. Some of these are repeating themselves, and that's fine because a lot of people will be vibing certain things. We have Synchronicity. And we have Darkening. So, it's interesting. We have a lot of snake imagery. These are worms, but still that similar energy. Lots of snakes, because the previous cards also had a snake for the Knight of the Sun. Yeah, the Knight of Wands here. So I don't know if snakes are important to you. Maybe one of you was a snake and one of you was a dragon. I know those two are very compatible because I know lots of snakes and dragons. Year of Snake and Year of Dragon, by the way. But if I was to see the person who is interested in you as the Son of Wands, this little snake here, and I see you as this, actually no, yeah, there was a crow in the previous cards too, and now I'm looking for that because those were the 2 cards that stood out to me. Okay, maybe one's a raven, one's a crow. Similar. Okay, this is crazy, and even the colors are. I love synchronicity in these cards. But yeah, I feel like this will put either of you through a little bit of a dark spell. And unfortunately, I mean, that just happens sometimes when one of us or the other don't feel the way. You have to accept the synchronicities that you came together for a reason, that you were there to give each other fun. I feel like both of you had a lot of fun regardless, and the fact that it just couldn't work out, well, there's not to say that there's no future, because you never know how somebody is going to change in the future. But let's start over here with Mortification. I'm feeling very dizzy now, which is very interesting. I wouldn't let this mortify you or your person, pile 3. If for whatever reason when you separate you do start feeling very dark, I urge you to really ground yourself, to really seek that light, to really do the meditation. And I think you understand what you need to do, to decord, to detach, and to send your person so much love, and to send yourself love most of all. This is meant to happen for a reason, and whatever reason that may be, you may see this in the future. It's interesting that the crow here is on top of the snake, because I feel like the snake person may feel like the crow was literally keeping them down, like is happening here, but also there was an imbalance of power here. Whomever had the most power, I can't really say for sure, because I would like to say it's the crow, but it could also have been the wands. Maybe one of you. There was just something that was not going to work here. I feel like even if you tried to pursue this relationship, it wouldn't have worked for whatever reason, because it would have brought out the worst in you, unfortunately. But things sometimes have to get darker before they get brighter. It's always darkest before the dawn. I feel like that applies here. There's even like there's a light behind this snake, and there's the storm behind, or thunder and lightning behind the Hierophant. It's almost like this may have been a teacher-student type of relationship, and we're saying the student here is of an age, like a professor and a student, of an age that they really should be with this person, 18 and up, even though personally I still think 18 is too young to be with someone much older than a certain age, but that's my own opinion. But there was definitely somebody had more control than the other person, and it just wasn't going to work, not this way. It would have hindered either both of you or one or the other. And maybe you two were aware of this. Maybe you two realized that this imbalance of power just wouldn't be able to sustain itself in this connection. And maybe that's part of what drew them to you. Sometimes people want to be in a situation where they have more power over the other person, or conversely, where somebody has a lot more power over them. And while that is seductive, it's not sustainable, at least not in the long haul, because something will have to shift eventually and things do come into balance at some point. I was also getting that with the Justice card. But that is all I have for you today, pile 3. If any of this resonated, let me know. I wish you a lot of love and a lot of blessings, because I feel like this may be a tricky situation you're in. If you feel free to do so, you can like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next reading. Bye.